Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you will not be disappointed. So how do we get there? And that's the question. 866-801-8255. What's the solution? How do we get there? I know for me, we need to stop being distracted by narratives. Let's stop being distracted. Right now, they are trying to sit Jasmine Crockett down. And this was an unforced error on her part. It was unnecessary for you to refer to that governor as Governor Hot Wheels in a public forum where you're on the, what you do behind closed doors. Y'all in Texas all do it. I've heard it. You don't get up in front of a microphone where people are recording you, ma'am, and you already in the crosshairs and call this man Governor Hot. You don't do that. I'm sorry. You don't do that. It was unforced. I rock with you till the wheels fall off. But that was an unforced error. And now they're going to not stop until she sat down. And it was so unnecessary. So I've been asking this question a lot. Those of us who have spaces, is this necessary? Is this necessary? And it's not about being afraid. It's unnecessary because you can get your point across. And this is a message to myself. I'm talking to myself right now because I'm on here every day. It could slip out. I'm just letting you know. I'm not immune to having that same unforced error, which is why I'm saying it. Y'all, and Smiz knows to cut my mic and dump anything that he already knows. We got the,
Cool it, Karen.
Yes, he's always on it. But yeah, because what happens is you then prevent yourself from that's going to be the message every place you go. Everybody's going to be asking you about it. I'm already seeing it blow up. I'm like, why? You were so perfect in holding them to account, and now you've given up your right to do that in this, and you can say what you want, but you can't defend it. It's indefensible. Yeah. Joke or no joke. So let's stop doing that too, because I'm not like them. I'm going to say that with my full chest. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to cover up the stench. I don't want to pretend that this is not wrong. I don't want to be that person. So I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be who I am. And they're not going to drag me to hell just so that I can tit for tat with them. We can't tit for tat. Let's not tit for tat with them.
And I agree with you, Karen, but the question that also begs the question, right? When the views are, when the other side is, the top man at the ticket is calling women fat pigs and calling people and calling these things, and we're not, and that person is not being held account. And so I agree with you 100%, but what I'm saying is that how do we then go to someone like Jasmine Crockett and say, oh yeah, this thing is like, you can't do that.
I'm not saying that we go to her and do anything. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. It was unnecessary. And now that's going to be the focus. So even if she's in her right place to tit for tat with him, there's no gain. We're not in an equal society. You're pretending as if all things are equal. That man's president of the United States of America. Don't know how it happened. Don't agree with it. Don't agree with anything that he's about. However, he has the levers of power right now. And unless the people, because I haven't seen it, Joel, unless you're telling me the people are going to raise up wholesalely and get out, not us in the streets, but everybody else in the streets and say, this does not represent me. The recourse has to be a little bit more surgical and strategic. I'm just saying.
I think there are starting to be people of the red hat, the YOR people, the YOUR people on Facebook, are starting to see that these people are not for them. Like we've seen this with the GOP leadership not advising their members not to hold town halls.
You put your life on them, waking up?
No. I'm not putting my life on them.
Because it might come to that, right? So I'm saying, like, this is how serious things are right now. And I don't think people are really paying attention. There's a lot going on.
When you got, like, they just announced, was it yesterday or today, that Oklahoma was going to lose, which is the two states that went the furthest in the opposite direction were Massachusetts and Oklahoma. And Oklahoma is the biggest single employer of jobs, is federal jobs, and they're getting rid of 600 jobs there. And so as these people right, start to see what's actually happening. And what's funny about that, and people don't know the history, is Oklahoma used to be a socialist stronghold at the early part of the 20th century. It was a socialist stronghold, not anti-racist, but socialist in and of itself, right, for the working people. And so when you see that start to happening, and you see people start to go in like West Virginia, and we were in Florida over the weekend, heard this thing on the radio, save Social Security. Like when you see this starting to happen in these places and people start to perk up and pay attention, we get past the idea that we need a reality TV star as president, and we start to say we need somebody with real solutions.
I'm not confident at all. So to your point, small circles, I like that. I think that's manageable. I think everybody who's listening to my voice, you live somewhere, how's your neighborhood? Got neighborhood watch? What's the perimeter like? How y'all moving? Is it good? If it's not, if you're out there by yourself, what's the game plan? How do you build community if you don't have one? That should be, starting point. But I feel like people generally are not ready because this generation has not had to confront it. We didn't have a draft. We haven't had, the worst we had was 9/11. And then we sent and bombed a country that had nothing to do with it, which gave us zero political capital, by the way, and no more oil. That was like the dumbest war ever, which seemed like revenge. And now we're paying for that because the places that we bombed the smithereens that had nothing to do with it, those babies have grown up and they're mad. They haven't forgotten if you blew up my mama, I'm still mad about it. Okay, so let me just say that.
We don't learn we as a society, America as a society, never learns the lessons that of all of the fuckery that we put out into the world, right? In South America, Central and South America, in the Middle East, in Europe, like we put a lot of fuckery out there, and that stuff is and like the brother said, Malcolm, the chickens eventually come home to roost, right? And I think this is what's going to happen, where we see this happening.
Another thing that might have been the setup for him to be taken out, that phrase, on the heels of Kennedy being shot, unnecessary at that time. Correct, completely. And can we have this adult conversation? Are we equipped to have this conversation? Because I know people want to be in their feelings about what I'm saying right now. But you got to understand that if Art of War is something with Sun Tzu, how old is that book? It's still very viable to this day. Are we prepared for all of the ways in which we must strategize to win this war of humanity, really, which is what we're in? This is not a war of ideals as much as it is I guess it is an ideal. Are we going to be human or are we not?
Karen, have you looked at property in other countries?
No comment.
Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.